highlighting the people and places that support, grow, and promote our sport. This is TNT Off the Rail. Live on Facebook and YouTube. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow. Don't forget to enable live notifications so you don't miss anything. Please note that Off the Rail is a live show. Calls and comments will be recorded for use by TNT Off the Rail. Some segments are pre-recorded. Be a part of the show. Hit us up in the chat or comments. Text us 833-868-7665. We will call you on air if you want. Like, share, start a watch party. It's time for TNT Off the Rail. Let's get the show started.
All right, boys and girls, what's going on? It's Friday night. TNT Off the Rail. I'm Bud. You see Hollywood's floating around back there. He's actually right now competing in his Pigeon Coop tournament match, so he'll join us as soon as he gets done there. So we're going to hang out for a minute. I'm going to do some sharing. We're going to talk about a couple things. We had the Hollywood Scotch Doubles benefit tournament out in Black Rose. I'm multitasking, so don't be upset with me. It was a great turnout. We had 29 teams. It was a ton of fun. A lot of great people, a lot of great things that happened. If you didn't see the video, we did split it up into two parts because of time, because it was a nice long night. Ken Harville and Jim Fridley ended up on top. Our top four was Ken Harville, Jim Fridley, Danny Blackburn, and Mike Madling were second. Matt Snyder and Chainsaw third. Or no, I'm sorry. Who was third?
What's that?
Matt and Chainsaw were fourth. Who was third? Oh, Donnie. Donnie Daly. Sorry, Donnie. And Steve Oder took third place. It was a ton of fun. We'll talk more about that. Got a special guest coming up here in about 10-15 minutes. We're going to give a call to Ed Liddawi from the National Billiards League and talk about that. It's a real nice new opportunity for amateur and professional players across the board, looking to really unify the sport and make it what a lot of us have been looking for. So definitely stick around for that. Hang out in the chat. You'll be able to ask Ed some questions as well. We'll take your questions and ask him when we talk to him live. It'll be actually, I'm hoping if it works right, it'll be a video chat. I think we got things figured out this week and straightened out, hopefully. So we'll talk to him. Hey, Wes. Hello, honey. My sister. It looks like my sister might be. And yeah, Hollywood's playing Al Diatel back there. For those of you guys that are just figuring it out, what's the score? 2-1 Al right now back there. So take a minute and hit the like and share button on the Facebook page if that's where you're watching. Like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Turn on your live notifications on Facebook and click the bell to turn your live notifications on YouTube. Don't forget to hit that follow button on Facebook too if you're not. We're trying to build those up. I'm going to announce it later, but we're going to have a special little giveaway when we get our follower number up to a certain point, and I'll tell you more as we get a little closer to that. There was something else we were going to talk about. Got a bunch of really cool tournaments going on tomorrow in a bunch of different places. We'll talk about that a little later after we talk to Ed. The Pigeon Coop tournament's moving along real nice, and we'll talk more in depth about that as well. We got I'm gonna share some stats from the TNT leagues in the hopes to entice other operators to share their results and stats with us, so we can see how players around the area are doing. And like I said, just remember this: our reach is beyond our area. So if you play pool, it doesn't matter where you're at. We wanna talk about you. We want to share your stuff and we want to put the highlight. If you're putting the time in to get people playing pool, and we want to share that with people. So, get a hold of us, send that information in, and we'll share it. We'll talk about you on the show, and we'll tell everybody how awesome you are, and it'll be a ton of fun. I'm gonna take a real quick second while I finish sharing some stuff out. Yes, John. Everybody buy some. Excuse me. everybody buy some carpet from Al for sure. We're going to take a quick second to check out our sponsors. And where's my button I'm looking for? There it is. These guys help us do everything we do, and they help us keep all of our streams, our fight nights, our tournaments. They help us keep these things free for you guys to watch, so you can enjoy all the pool action we bring to you. Take a second, check out our sponsors, and I'll be back in just a second. Hang tight.
CBM Construction offers all your construction needs: new builds, remodeling, heating and cooling services, and installation. Give them a call today, 815-716-6727. CBM is licensed, bonded, and insured to provide the ease of mind you're looking for. From start to finish, CBM is professional and friendly as they bring your dreams to life. Bill builds it best. Check them out on Facebook for more pictures of their amazing work. Looking for a getaway retreat? Wanting to live off the grid? We can help you with any of your wants and needs. Custom-built tiny homes for you. Taking orders now. Give us a call and we'd be happy to help you out. 815-716-6727. CBM Construction. 815-716-6727.
And of course, our awesome friends at A&A Flooring in Sterling, Illinois, 815-632-0675. Give Al a call right now for all your flooring options. And you can check out their website, aafloors.biz, where you can use their on-site tool to check out all kinds of great flooring options without even leaving your couch. You don't have to get dressed. You can sit and drink a beer. You don't have to move anything. You can check out all your options right there on-site with their cool little tool. You'll see it floating around as you scroll through there. Get a hold of Al at A&A Flooring, Sterling, Illinois, 815-632-0675. West End Sounds DJ Service, DJ Mark, for all your DJ and karaoke needs, weddings, birthday parties, and more. Don't forget, Mark offers LED lighting and uplighting options. Give him a call, 630-364-8454. Big John Bresley at Peel Motors in Princeton. Give him a call, 815-875-4411. John wants to put you in the car or truck you deserve. Stop out in Princeton and see him for a great selection and an even better experience on your next automobile purchase. And our friends over at the Boulevard, Pub and Grill, 2501 Avenue E, Sterling, Illinois, 815-901-2583. Offering free delivery to local businesses Monday through Friday. They've got a great menu. It's a really great atmosphere, some good food, home of the Big Al. And coming up here, I believe it's next weekend. I'll double check the dates, but coming up next weekend, they have Brushville going to be out there, and that's going to be a great show. So definitely check that out if you get a chance. The Boulevard, Sterling, Illinois. Make sure you tell everybody that TNT sent you. You guys are done already? Al won. Al wins. 4-something. I don't know what it was. 4-something. What was it?
4-1.
4-1. How down goes Hollywood?
Yep, I'm out of my own tournament. It doesn't surprise me.
Already out of his own tournament. Good, you can run it.
But Al's big sponsor of the show, so I didn't mind losing to him.
Right, yeah. There's nothing wrong with losing to a sponsor.
Right, absolutely not.
You got a couple minutes. We had your tournament out there in Princeton this past weekend. It was a ton of fun.
Yeah, I gotta take just a minute here, and I got to give a big shout out to Streeter Tire and Repair out there. You know them. I don't know none of them guys down there, and they were real nice enough to graciously show up. I don't know if it was the owner that showed up that gave me a nice check for a $100 bill, and that was real nice of them. And if you're down in the Streeter area and you're looking for some tire repair, that kind of stuff, go see the boys at Streeter Tire and Repair. I mean, they were real gracious to me, and it was real nice. You know, it's nice, and it was a lot of big show support. We raffled off some cues. See you later, Al. Hey, Al.
Al Dilatel, A&A Floors, Sterling, Illinois.
There he is, right there.
There he is, the man.
Don't trip over that.
Yeah, careful.
I didn't pay my homeowner's insurance this month. All right, well, good luck in the rest of the tournament there, bud. Thanks for kicking my ass. I appreciate it. But, yeah, I mean, we had 29 teams paid. We had them nice cues and stuff that we gave away. A lot of people showed support. I mean, from the bottom of my heart, I can't say enough that the pool community's come together and try to help me out in my time of need. My pool game was really, really suffering nowadays. I'm considering just sticking into the commentating and all that kind of stuff, and not playing so much pool anymore because my game's just getting until I get my health better. My game's just getting terrible. I can't, with all the medication stuff I'm taking, I got the shakes real bad. I can't stand up right anymore. But but no, it was a good time. A lot of players showed up. I wish I could have stayed to the end, and I apologize to those I couldn't. I was completely out of gas. I just didn't have any more energy. I spent most of my time, the last couple hours I was there sleeping on the couch in the gaming room. Which was nice. I got to give a big thanks out to Chris Corris and the whole crew down there at the Black Rose. You ever get a chance here in the Princeton area, stop down to the Black Rose down there. They're really good people behind the bar. Chris was really, really nice.
Patty took care of us.
I took really good care of us. Added some money to the tournament. I got to thank my buddy Mark Burkholder from West End Sounds DJ Service, helped me a title sponsor on that. And I could go on and on and on and on. And I can't. I mean, there's just. I mean, Eric Marsh made the trip down with his buddies. They got pretty drunk, had a good time.
A little bit.
What I hear.
A little bit. All's good with that situation. That's all we're going to talk about. That, from what I understand, everything okay.
Worked out.
Everything worked out good.
Worked out. That's
we'll
good.
leave it at that.
That's good. We just finished up my match here with Al, and we're still waiting on Ryan Wade's got to play Bryant Lilly, and of course we're waiting on Heath Warner and Steve Older's got to get their match in. So we only got 2 more matches to get in, and I'm out. I went 2 and out in my own tournament, just like last night when I went to the Twisted Rose, which we'll talk about probably here in a little while. I went 2 and out in that tournament too. My pool game is just really, really suffering.
Yeah, we saw you a little bit on the stream. We shared a video for that.
I got beat 4-0.
Yeah, We'll definitely talk about that. We're actually gonna give Ed here a call. This is still a new adventure that Ed's got going on, but from what I've seen, it's looking pretty cool. It's a good premise. He's working on getting things started. The COVID didn't help things out enough, and we're going to obviously talk to him, so we're going to find a bunch more about that. But I'll tell you right now, if you have tournament director friends or a hall looking for some action to get going on, tell them to turn the show on right now and watch, and have your questions ready for Ed, because they are looking, from what I understand, they're looking for a few more places.
I think they're looking for with the COVID. I don't know if there's some places that may have backed out or not. We'll ask him.
Yeah.
But I know that they were looking. They had a couple more spots to fill out this. It's basically going to be a tour that they're putting on.
Right. Yeah.
And they're going to go from pool hall to pool hall, venue to venue, or whatever you want to call it. And it looks like a real good deal. And we're going to be talking to him here shortly, so that we'll get more information on that. But back to the tournament at the Black Rose. I mean, like I said, there was a lot of people that reached out, helped out a lot, and we are doing one more tournament. I know a lot of people had asked about that, and there is one more tournament, and the Dustin and them boys are going to start working on that. We're going to have one more fundraiser, and then I'm not going to ask for anything more. And then I'm hoping that things will start getting better for me. We'll see. I'm not sure if my pool game has any reflection on that. I'm in big trouble, but. Like I said, and the thing about it is, this isn't, to me anymore, it's not about playing pool. It's about talk pool, promoting pool, because even if I get to the point where I can't play the game anymore, I'm not giving up on the game. I'm certainly going to still sit here and talk about it as long as I can possibly do.
There might be a real loud noise here in a second. I'm just warning you, but
oh boy,
just prepare yourself. We're actually going to call him real quick right now. We're going to call Ed. Nope, look, no big noise. Yay, unless it's delayed. All right, we'll call him. He's gonna pop up live, loud at first. He's gonna pop up audio at first, and then we'll bring him up on the. Good, Ed. How you doing? Yeah, we sure can. Let me. We're gonna get your picture up here in just a second, so everybody can see you. How you doing? You're calling us from your hall, right? Awesome. And where is that again for everybody? Okay, that's all I thought. I was telling him that's all I thought it was, but can't find it.
Hey, I wonder if he gets those commentators that we always watch out there. Who are them 2 guys? God, I can't think of them.
He gets you get Raw and who are those guys? East I'm not sure if you're familiar. No, yeah, no. No, there's some local guys that over there that at the Steinway room or something. Yeah, it might be. Yeah. No, it was. Who, yeah, we talked to there was these one guys that we were watching. I want to say his name was like Mike or yeah, I can't remember. We had a blast watching them. They were doing some streaming and it was amazing. We're joined by Ed Liddawi. I hope I said a name. I'm horrible with last names, Ed. Thank you again for joining us. And Ed's with the National Billiards League, and it's fair to say it's still up and coming, or still putting roots down and getting things going. So yeah, it's been kind of whack. So just if to kind of explain it to everybody, so they kind of have an idea of what you're. Oh, I suppose I need to turn you on here. Hold on a second. Everybody, all my people are telling me they can't hear you. There we go. Okay.
Okay. Can you all hear me now?
Yeah. Oh, we could. I just
Okay.
forgot to let everybody else hear you. So we're talking with Ed. He's out at Sandcastle in
New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Yeah.
And so yeah. So tell everybody the principle behind the National Billiards League.
Well, it's named league just to be synonymous with all the other professional leagues out there in the U.S., just like Major League Baseball, National Football League, National Hockey League. I wanted to name it the same as everything else that's recognized as a professional sports organization. But I don't want people to get misled. It's actually a series of tournaments, just like we have open tournaments now, where we have the Predator Tour, Mez Tour, Action Pool Tour, all these regional tours. It's the same format that we're doing locally, however, beefed up a little bit with 2 levels. I took the model from the Euro Tour from Asia and from the Middle East, and I've been studying it for a while in person as I've traveled out overseas to those locations and just watching from online and dealing with all the major industry leaders. I took parts of their formulas and combined it into one as far as what I thought would work here in the U.S. And it's a 2-stage tournament. You have qualifiers and then a main event. That's it. If you win one event locally, you go to the main event, and that's stage 2. We have 32 locations all across the U.S. participating with a maximum of 32 players at each location. We have 2 qualifiers before each main event, which allows us to have 4 major events a year, which should yield a $200,000 prize purse and award all the 32 winners each month with a fully sponsored trip to the main event. That's flight, hotel, to get 2 uniforms issued to them, personalized. That way you can wear that during competition so we can all look uniform, literally, and be a professional sport organized as one unified look and one unified body. So you win a local qualifier of all amateurs only, and 32 amateurs in January will qualify for the March event, which is the first event. Then in February, we have another qualifier for amateurs only at all 32 locations, awarding another 32 winners to that same event in March. So we wind up with 64 amateurs, and then 64 professionals buy in at a $1,000 entry fee. So that's the other thing that you're winning with the qualifiers. So not only are you getting your flight and hotel, you're getting a $1,000 entry fee, you're getting 2 uniform jerseys to wear, and you're also going to get a tour card to allow you to bypass the qualifiers for the next 3 events. So you get the same treatment as a professional player. So if you don't qualify, you can buy in for $1,000 if you think you've got the game to get up there. But a lot of amateurs are afraid to step out into the pro event, and a lot of professionals have been afraid to, or not, I don't want to say afraid, but have been deterred from getting into major events in the U.S. for several years because mainly they're all international events, and you have international competitors coming from Asia and Europe coming over to the U.S. and robbing them. We're not what we used to be, and I'm not afraid to say it. I state the facts as I see them. I'm trying to change that. We don't compete on a national scale the way we used to 25, 30 years ago. We have Shane Van Boning as a world-class competitor and others that come close. The next one would be Corey Deuel, but he's out there once in a while. Shane is able to travel and compete and still hang with all the guys around the world. But if you go to Asia, there's 25 Shane Van Bonings. You go to Europe, there's about 20 of them. You know, so we need to get back on that level, and we need to all play with each other on an even level once again. So I devised a formula where amateurs and professionals can play together, and I don't expect an amateur to win the first place $30,000 prize, but I do expect them to get in the top 16 in the way of format. It's a short race, alternate break format, rotation game. So it's the easiest format you could possibly have a chance in winning. And with the qualifiers being amateurs only, I'm guaranteeing 64 amateurs are in the field. So half the field of 128 players are all going to be amateurs, while the other half of 64 players are the pros that buy in. And even in the first round at the main event, all amateurs are going to play each other. So I'm guaranteeing 32 amateurs advance on the winner's side, just a couple steps away from the money rounds. And it's paying deeper than any other tournament ever has paid. So once we yield that $200,000 prize purse total, we're going to split that up between the top 48 places. So first place is $30,000, increments of $5,000 down to 25, 20, 15, 10, 5,000, so forth and so forth, going down. 48th place getting $1,000. So amateurs can win anything from $1,000. I expect them to get at least in the top 16 with this format, short races, alternate break, and make some money at all levels. So like any other sport, the top performers are going to earn more money. Mid performers will earn middle money, and then the lowest performers will earn a little bit of money, just like every other sport.
And I think this. I love this format, and I also think that you're going to start finding some players out there that nobody's ever heard of that'll finish out in the money. That the Shane Van Bonings and all that stuff of the world are going to show up for this tournament, I'm sure. But at least you're going to find out that there's some players that are hidden through the United States that nobody's ever heard of that can play.
Absolutely. I'm hoping to bring out all the unknowns, because now it's going to be worth it. Now in the days of the internet, where your photograph or your stream gets to the next pool room, there's no more days of hustling. That's over with. That's gone. So people that are stuck in that mentality, yeah, we all love the action, or a lot of us love the action, but it's not what it used to be. You can't go around hustling and getting action all over anymore. You're already known. You're on the internet, you're streamed, your name's out there, you're listed, whatever the case may be. They already know that you're coming to their room before you get there. So stop trying to think that that's a way of living, and it's not an income. And I don't know any wealthy gamblers out there in anything,
Not me neither.
Momentarily only.
Yeah.
So it comes and goes. Easy come, easy go, as the saying goes. So I wanted to devise a system that was fruitful for players at all levels.
Oh. Having a little moment here with Ed.
We completely froze up there. I don't know what's going on.
He's froze up. We'll see if he comes back. We'll hang it tight for a
Professional
second.
level or amateur level as a weekend warrior, and make decent money and make an okay salary. Yep.
Well, you froze up on us a little bit there for a second, Ed. I mean, we are catching the present.
Yeah. You're back now.
We got you back now. But now, is it my understanding that you're still looking for a couple of more venues to fill a couple of spots, or do you have them all full now?
I do have 32 venues slated. The man calls like 32 look in our first year, depending on how things work out. If we fill the fields in all 32 locations and we have a great $200,000 prize for us right off the bat, and other locations want to get in, maybe we don't only 4. That will yield enough money to have 8 of them, and we can expand 64 locations. I do have 3 waiting lists involved to be number 33, 34, and 35. As far as locations go, and the unfortunate endemic situation, there are some pools to swap out. Aren't going to be opening anymore. Change ownership. That slot, they were involved, or they were unsure, and then time ran out. Other locations took those spots before they were able to make their decision, and then now the new owners want to get involved. So there's a few changes that may happen. Some tournament directors that were slated for those locations are also moving around and changing lifestyles and careers. So I'm going to make a few changes, but the formula calls for 32 locations only to start out, as we gather 32 winners 2 months in a row to have 64 amateurs qualify in, and then the 64 pros buying in.
And I'm assuming as it starts to work and people see it work, you're probably, I mean, it only lends itself to grow, obviously. And like I said, it sounds amazing. I have a viewer question, and it's actually a question I was kind of wondering myself. Is there do you split it up between men and women, or are they all the same bracket?
They're all the same bracket. No other sport separates the men, the women, or the children. And I want to get the juniors involved as well, as this will catapult their career into the professional billiards industry as well. Mm-hmm. We have LeBron James that went from high school to the professional NBA. But we don't have any career path for our juniors to get involved in, or nothing for them to aspire to. We have no structure, no ladder structure set up as of right now, and we haven't had it for 30 years, since I think the Camel Pro Tour, the Seminole Pro Tour. And we haven't had a Pro Tour for America for almost 30 years, and that's what this is going to be replacing. But it's coming in the form of a pro-am tour to bring out those unknowns that you mentioned earlier and bring out some people from the woodworks. I already called out Rodney Morris, Johnny Archer to come out of retirement, other players like that. I mean, they compete here and there. But one of the major problems that the U.S. has had for several years, aside from foreigners and international players coming in and winning our tournaments, not making it feasible for pros to get in, is the money breakdown was never feasible for them. You'd have to get 5th place or better, sometimes even 3rd place or better to even break even on your venture between travel expenses and hotel costs and so forth. So that deters the pros from playing. What's the sense? There's no benefit. We can talk for hours and hours upon crooked promoters, crooked players, so forth and so forth. I don't like to focus on the negative past. I like to move forward and find a solution for things and get beyond that. I'm an honest promoter. Everything's open book. If you go to NBLUSA.com, the whole business plan is online. It shows how much money we can generate. You can show us where the money all goes, what the breakdown is, expenses, and so forth. So we should actually generate around $350,000 if we fill the fields at all 32 locations with just 32 players each. It's not a lot. We have over 2 million players in the U.S., or let's say people that play pool in the U.S. We only need 1% of that over the 2 months in January and February to get involved. It's a $150 entry fee for the local qualifier. We're going to have ways to award cash prizes, either in the form of Calcutta or whatever, in locations where that's allowed, or other satellite events to build prize purses to award the top 25%, which is 8 players at each local venue. So with the top 8 winning cash, you have nothing to lose. You're going to get your money back or win a little something, which is what we're already doing. However, if you win the qualifier, you're the first place winner, you're going to get that $1,000 entry, your free flight round trip, your free hotel stay, your 2 uniform jerseys to wear. And at the very worst, you have a piece of memorabilia to tell your grandkids about. You know, frame the jersey, put it up there. But you also have something that's much more valuable than that, exposure. You're getting exposed, you're getting advertisement, and we can talk about it in a little bit. There's also a way that everyone that's on a TV stream table is going to make money and residual income, win or lose. And we'll get into that later on. So even if at the qualifying levels, if you don't win the qualifier, you're on camera, you're getting paid to promote yourself.
And you got 32 locations spread out amongst how many different states?
There are 29 different states. There's only 2 states that have 2 locations. That's California. We have Oscar Dominguez at Hard Time, Sacramento, and we have another location in Fresno. Then we have Pennsylvania, which has Paul Motti, the cue maker. He has a pool room out in Pittsburgh. And then we have Eagle Billiards near Scranton, Pennsylvania. So those are the only 2 states. Oh, I'm sorry. No, we have 3 states that have 2 locations. Florida has 2 locations as well. We have Zingales in Tallahassee, and then we have Capone's Billiards. I don't recall what town that is off the top of my head.
I'm sure somebody will find it and tell us.
Yeah.
So I was doing some stuff, and
Rocky.
You can find a complete list of all those states at the NBLUSA.com. You can find that and how to contact those each wherever you want to play your qualifier. You can find out how to get entered through that by contacting the director of those locations on the website there. And now maybe I missed it. What are so I'm an amateur and I go to my local, and like let's say in our area right now, the closest one I know of is Big Dog Billiards in Iowa. That's one of your sanctioned. So let's say some of our guys want to go over there and play in the what's the entry fee for an amateur to go and get into the qualifier?
I believe you said it was $150.
Was it? I couldn't remember if I heard
that is correct.
Okay,
that's correct. $150. We're all used to paying about $100 to enter an open tournament now, and we're chasing $1,000 to $2,000, maybe if you're in a real good tournament, $3,000 first place prize, and that's it. It's over. Here you're winning that cash, and you're going further. You're going to a stage 2 event where you're going to play against another amateur in the first round, and a lot of players they dream of playing a pro. They want to see how they measure up on the big stage. Others have no interest in playing a pro. So I'm trying to satisfy both of those people or types of people, where the first round you're playing an amateur, and then in the second round you're going to play a professional. Whether you're on the winner's side or loser's side, they all mix together.
So, what was my next question?
So yeah, $150 for the amateurs locally, and then their trip and everything else is fully paid. It's a free ride into the main event. If they
and you said they pay out 8 spots, which I mean, that's still not bad. And you said if you make the money in that, you're basically going to make your money back in that. So, that was my question. So we were talking about this kind of before earlier before we called you. Now, so one question I know people are going to have is, so when you're talking about amateurs, what is the basis for the amateur? I mean, what are you using to configure your races? I know that you said they were pretty much flat out fives across the board, wasn't it? Race to 5.
Right. Well, the first round, it's a different type of format that I came up with that I use at my pool room and for open events before. It worked out very well. It's a different type of format. I'll talk about that real quick. It's a race to 5 in the first round and the loser side, or the one-loss side.
Right.
Once you win and you advance on the winner's side, it's now a race to 9. What that does, it alleviates the amount of time that players are waiting for the loser side to catch up to the winner's side in tournaments, as we often wait for.
Mm-hmm.
And it levels out the amount of fatigue, because each player, let's say you and I face off in the first round, and we're dead even. We go hill every time. You beat me 5-4. I go to the loser's side. You go to the winner's side. You have 4 rounds to get to the finals at a race to 9. So when you win 4 races to 9 and a race to 5, you have to win 41 racks to get to the finals. I went to the loser's side, where now it doesn't matter. I lost the first round, so we only go by what we win. I have to play 8 rounds on the one-loss side at a race to 5. So I have to win 40 racks to get to the finals. So there's only a 1 rack difference between you and I. Now we play a second time, and in true double elimination format, I beat you 5-4. Okay? So we go to a second round of the finals. If you want to get technical, we both have 49 wins under our belt. We both have 1 loss from each other, and now we go to a second round, which is now drops to a race to 5, as we're both on the loser side, and it's a coin toss. So in that amateur range, what is an amateur? What qualifies as an amateur? It's a very good question, because that's another thing that we're missing in America right now. We have a roundabout idea within the industry who's who and how they play, but we don't have an official system that is across the board. A lot of people in the country, I'm on the East Coast, we don't have a lot of Fargo, but a lot of people in the country are using Fargo ratings. But you have a California Fargo 720 versus a New York Fargo 720, and they're apples and oranges. And they say, oh, the New Yorkers are underrated. Well, how do we know that everyone else in the country is not overrated? Once we get on the same playing field and we play each other with the same people in the same format, then it levels everything out and brings everything all together. So by the Fargo rating, which is not the holy grail for the NBL, but it is one of the factors considered, Fargo considers 720 a pro and 719 an amateur. So there you go. But there's going to be a buffer zone. You know, we'll be accepting guys that want to pay in that are close, but they didn't qualify. If it's open, they can pay in. If not, or the rating changes in the meantime from when they sign up to in, fine. So around 719 is the eliminating line. But I've come up with the official ranking, actually behind me, the BCA, Billiard Congress of America. That is the official governing body of billiards in America. And I actually sit on the board of directors for the BCA, and we're trying to get more things involved with the play side of things, getting more involved with professionals overseas, locally, juniors, so forth and so forth. Behind the scenes, they're very involved. But they have a list and a BCA ranking of all American players, all players actually that play in American events. So we're taking the top 200 ranks as professionals as well. So the top 200 on the BCA ranking list are exempt from playing in the qualifiers, nor are they allowed to play in a qualifier. They can simply buy in at stage 2 for $1,000, the main event. So 720s in Fargo and above, or 201 and below, 200 and up are not allowed to play in the qualifiers. They're considered professionals.
Okay.
I'm also using 2 other things called common sense and better judgment.
You might have to explain some of that to some people.
It's a tough one. It's not so common anymore as it used to be, right? So pretty much once a pro, always a pro. I mean, unless you're really up there in age, you're in your 80s, you're struggling health-wise, so far. Okay, we'll make exceptions for some people. But I have Earl Strickland as house pro in Sandcastle Billiards. Now he still competes, so he's one of the anomalies. But let's say Johnny Archer. He didn't forget everything he knew, and he still competes here and there, but his Fargo rating's not up there because he's not as active, so how accurate is that? And he's not in the top 200 BCA list. I don't think so anymore. I'm not sure. But let's say someone that was in the top 200, but is not as active as they used to be, won't be in the top 200 list. But that doesn't mean they can't play. Okay, Mike DeShane, perfect example. He was number 2 in the country for 4 years straight. Left pool, doesn't make enough money, right? Well, if he comes out of the woodworks, he may not be in the top 200 list anymore. Did he forget everything he knew? Did he lose all his skills? No, he's still competing here and there in small tournaments, and he still has his game. So he would be considered a pro. So common sense, better judgment, BCA top 200 and Fargo 720 and up are all considered professionals. Anyone else can come in and play. Open players, mid-level open players and below, A players and downs, of course. Now, I encourage everyone to get in just to get the seasoning and the experience, but I don't expect, I'll be honest, I don't expect anyone lower than a B-class player to win a local event. Because a B-class player in a race to 5 alternate break can easily beat an A-class player or even an open on or off day. And a race to 5, odd situations come up, 3 foul rules in effect, is 10 balls, intentional shot, so there won't be a lot of early combos because we're playing by the updated rules, world rules. The 10 ball must be made last for the win. So I don't know if everyone's aware of that, but it used to be able to be comboed in, but they changed that rule almost a year ago. But the 10 ball can be comboed in early, but it comes back up. So you only win with the 10 ball being made last. So there's more intentional shots, and we're using 2 different disciplines in the NBL. The first quarter is going to be 10 ball. The second quarter is going to be 8 ball, and then we flip-flop back and forth. Third quarter back to 10 ball, fourth quarter 8 ball. One reason is it's an intentional shot game, so there's no lucky, little less luck, a lot less luck. There's always luck involved, no matter what.
Right, it's just a little more focused luck.
Right, exactly. Or smart shots. The 2-way shots in play. WPA rules allows for this 2-way shot. It's just called shot, not called safety, the actual official world rules. And you're demonstrating power strokes, rotation play, the power break, and all that. Or actually a more controlled break. In 8 ball, you have more of a power break, and you're demonstrating pattern play and shot selection and more strategy with safety play. So you have some safety in rotation play, but you have a lot more strategy and safety play in 8 ball. Plus, 8 ball is the most commonly understood and known game across the world. If someone ever played pool once in their life, they played 8 ball. Even if they don't know the name, they played stripes and solids. They know the game. It's easy to understand. And we have to look beyond what satisfies our needs as players or enthusiasts of the game. Not everyone knows the game like we do. We have to make it easy to understand and follow.
Exactly.
So everyone knows how to count from 1 to 10. Everyone knows stripes versus solids. Very simple. To cut out, I don't know if you have any questions for me. I'll take a break from talking for a second.
No, you're going. Yeah, you're.
I can go
Like I said,
on.
you're. These are the things that people are going to ask. So it's it's clearing up a lot of stuff. We actually talked last week. We actually talked to Johnny Archer, and we were talking about where the game's gone, and we were talking about the breaks and the different stuff like that. And we one of the questions we like to ask a lot of people when we talk to him is about what it's going to take to get the sport back in the spotlight again. And it's been a common answer among most people, and Johnny as well. We talked about it was going to take. Johnny thinks it's going to take like a team event or something along this line. He was actually he talked about this, and it's going to take things like this where it's making it the sport more accessible to more people, and then with the different sanctioned events and making it more I played in my area, and now I'm going up, and people are going to get to see, I won my qualifier, so now I'm going to go to this big main event, and all these people are going to see me, and that's the kind of thing that people are going to go, well, I just played pool with him just the other day, and now look, I'm watching him on, there he is doing his thing, and he's got a chance to win all this money, and that's the kind of thing that's going to help us keep growing the sport as far as we possibly can. And so I'm liking this idea, and I'm hoping that more people are going to grab onto this and run with it. I know there's going to be, and I'm sure you do too, there's going to be a lot of, you're going to end up answering a lot of questions here and there about, the rating system. And that's something that I think you and I probably agree on. We haven't talked a bunch about it, but it's something that there needs to be a way more universal, being able to say, like you said, we talk about Fargo a lot. Everything we do is is Fargo based, and we talk about one of the big things we always talk about is the fact that how your Fargo rate is only as accurate as where you play, and if you only play in one place, that's as accurate as your Fargo rate. And this is going to help build that base because it's going to start mixing those, like you said, the East and West Coast players and bringing them all into one place, and that's going to make that Fargo rating stronger and stronger.
Absolutely. I actually welcome all organizations out there. I'm not creating something to be competitive with the bar leagues of the APA. This is not a team event. This is an individual event. I do have plans in the future of making an amateur division, amateur-only division, actually 3 amateur divisions, where just like college ball, you have a Division III, Division II, Division I, and you graduate through that, and then you go into the pros. This is now the pros, which we're starting at the top of the end of the rainbow at the top level to show people what they can aspire to, which was why we're starting it out as a pro-am event to get more people involved. Once people become acclimated to it, that 720 eliminating factor may become 750 or 780 or maybe even 800 in the future. Who knows? As everyone's skill level grows together. Let's say, all right, more like 750. I don't expect everyone to grow that quickly, but hopefully it does. But once everybody's playing even up, just by format being the handicapping factor. There's no handicaps in amateur events either. It's going to be grouped together by, let's say, C and D class players as Division III. And then you have your B class players in Division II, your A class players in Division I, and then you have your pros. So Open and Pro will be synonymous. You're an A class player or you made the majors, you made the pros. Major League Baseball and minor league baseball, they have to earn their way up into the major leagues. Right now, this is the only thing and the only sport I can think of where you can actually play in one event and make it to the big stage with all the pros. You can't do that in the NBA. You can't do that in the MLB. You can't do that in the NFL. You have to be drafted. You have to be scouted. And we want to get to that. And Major League Baseball wasn't there starting out. They started with 2 local neighborhood teams that gathered together and met at a park to start playing ball. Then another neighborhood got some kids together, and they started representing their towns, which is why I'm also designing the uniforms to have the state of the qualifying location on the player's back. So let's say you qualify in Ohio. You're going to have the state of Ohio on your back with Big Dogs. Or Iowa, I'm sorry. You qualify to Big Dogs in Iowa, you're going to have the shape of Iowa on your back with your last name on top so people know who you are. There's no reason Shane Van Boning or Ed Liddawi or anybody should walk through the mall and not get hounded for autographs or go anywhere because the players don't have recognition. No one cares about the game. No one looks at it as a professional sport or respects it. But once we start simulating things or emulating other major league sports the same way, where we're all in uniform, we're all presented properly, I can talk forever about the money that's going to be coming in, the proper presentation as far as camera work goes. I just had Pat Fleming here about Guest Video Productions. We're climbing ladders and wiring up the place again. He's going to be on site here and at all 4 major events. I have support from Aramis, Simonis, AccuStats, of course, or my affiliates. Ra Henning, that you mentioned earlier, on the wire, all the mainstreamers all across. You guys are welcome. This is something for everyone to get involved with, and I want everyone to make their money the way they do. I don't want any part of it. All the money that's coming in for the NBL qualifiers are going into the main pot, plus expenses for the players that win it. So there's going to be over $1 million in prizes and cash and prizes in the course of the first year. All I ask is that players don't contemplate, but participate. It's $150. We flip quarters to play sets for $100 all the time. We enter local qualifiers for $100 all the time, with no end game, with no aspiration, with nothing bigger, more grand to get involved in it. Well, this is giving you that opportunity, a potentially $200,000 prize purse. And
it's an actual reality that you could easily turn $150 into $30,000.
Yeah. First place $30,000, and I think let's say, so it's 30, 25, 20. Excuse me, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, and then you have 8,000 for 5th and 6th, 5,000 for 7th and 8th, and you get 9th through 12th. You're getting $3,000. So you can make 9th through 12th on a good day as an amateur. Now, I mentioned the races on the qualifiers are a race to 5 and a race to 9. In the main event, it's a race to 7 and a race to 11. So an open player is going to beat a pro in a race to 7 alternate break format, and everyone is breaking from the same spot. Everyone is breaking the same pattern. I want to alleviate all these other negative things that we have out in the game now, as far as pattern racking, rack mechanics, manipulating the soft break, playing the same stupid pattern over and over again, which makes it boring for the players, or annoying to the players, and boring for spectators to watch. There's going to be randomness involved by breaking from the spot. You ask any top pro, it's the hardest place to break from. I actually had Tyler Skyer on the phone, and we were talking about it, and he was asking about the NBL, and I was giving him the lowdown. He said, "Oh, that's easy. I'll figure that out in 20 minutes." I said, "All right, get up." So I got him up out of bed at 3 o'clock in the morning. We had one of these all night little conversations. If we started at 1 o'clock, we were talking for 2 hours. I said, "Go ahead. I challenge you. I'll call you. I'll give you 20 breaks to figure out a rack." I said, I figured out something, a couple breaks that I did at my level, so I'm sure you could figure something out. You're, Moscone Cup MVP. Let's go. Well, he got more and more frustrated because he couldn't get anything down pat and figure it out. So there's a general style of breaking, or a couple of breaks that you could use, but everyone has a fair chance. And if people figure it out and figure out a great break for it, good. We all learn it together. It's the same for everyone. The
Right.
balls are racked in the same exact pattern. The break spot is from the spot, same exact break spot. So every single person that gets involved has time now till then, till March, to practice the break and learn the break. If you can do it, great. The next person can do it too. They have the same exact opportunity. But there's no more soft break, because breaking from the spot, it requires a stronger break to pocket a ball, or else you're just spreading them out wide open for your opponent and just selling out the rack. So
Right.
there's
That-
videos online that you can watch the break.
That was something. That was another when we were talking to Johnny. That was one of his biggest frustrations, was how they just back in our day we hit the hell out of the balls, and
Yeah, you hit him like a man.
you hit him, and he was really passionate about it, and I was actually kind of giggling a little bit, because I kind of loved how passionate he was about how much it annoyed him that it got the break manipulation has gotten to be. Now, see, I like that idea of standardizing that break like that, and then you talk about the same patterns. So will the players at all be involved with the racking, or and along with that, will in the qualifiers and if it's different maybe in the mains, how will the referee situation, will it be area type referees, or will each game have a referee?
Depending on how much extra money is generated from now until March with the qualifiers, I did slate enough to have 32 referees, if all are willing to come out, to have a referee at every single table. If all 32 tournament directors are interested in being referees at the main events, they're already familiar with their local players. They know how, they have a relationship with them. It's more family-based that way, as we are in the pool rooms anyhow. It's a small community all across the country. You see familiar faces working together. It would be great. But if all 32 tournament directors want to fly out and we have the money for it, great. Otherwise, we'll have area refs. But hopefully, if all works out well, we'll have 16 referees on a day shift and 16 different referees on a night shift for the 3-day tournament. Now, it's designed as a weekend warrior event. The qualifiers are either 1 or 2 days, depending on how many tables the facilities have, whether they can run a 1-day qualifier or a 2-day qualifier with 9-foot regulation equipment. I lost my train of thought here.
We were talking about
the main event. The
Yeah.
main event is 3 days. The main event is a weekend warrior thing. So
Right.
I want to make it accessible and feasible for everyone to get involved. So locally, it's 1 or 2 days over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, or just Sunday. But the same exact Sunday is when everyone qualifies. It's going to be like watching the elections to see who wins in California, who wins in Texas, who wins in New York, who wins in Idaho, Ohio, so forth, in Florida. And what player is going to represent that state with the state on their back. So now you're also picking up viewership from people who don't even care about pool or care about whoever the player is. They might not know who John Smith is, but so Shane Van Boning, whatever, they don't care. But he's got a South Dakota on his back. So I'm from South Dakota. That's my hometown guy. Let's go South Dakota.
right.
There you go. Or New York pride, and Jersey is strong. We have all our sayings. They make them big in Texas. They have a lot of pride in Texas. They see the state of Texas on someone's back, they're rooting for them. Now you just picked up 10,000 viewers right there, just from hometown pride alone. I can go on in all sports. We have it. New York Giants. I haven't watched football. I watch football still, but I don't know the lineup like I used to. I don't know who's on the team anymore, who's second string. I can't tell you that, but they're still my team. They're my hometown team.
Right.
When I'm flipping through channels, I'll see them. I'll watch them. So you're representing the room, the state, building viewership from there. Getting back to the break, you're forcing everyone to do the same break. Like I said, I have Earl Strickland here. He wants to get rid of the break out of pool. He says the break is so terrible now. It's everything in the game. It used to be about shooting ability and creativity and aggressive play, but now it's gone to all the break.
Right.
It all depends on the break, and it kills the game.
It just it's manipulated right from the get go, and it's got to a point where you can watch a guy break and go, well, I don't even need to stand up now. He knows what he's doing. He as soon as he breaks and he sees that one ball go, you can pretty much call the shots out. I understand with the rotation it's a little easy, but it's the break manipulations. It's definitely a big topic right now, and it's so. I'm kind of going to bounce around because I have some. I have a lot of different questions. So this, obviously, you've spent a lot of time working on this and putting a lot of thought into it. You've had sandcastles for quite a while. You've been in the sport for quite a long time. How long have you worked on this? How long did you work on this plan for the NBL before it actually became? Like I said, I know it's still very new right now, but how long before you actually said, "All right, I'm going to go public. We're going to do this." When did you first come up with the idea?
All right. Well, real quick, I've been in the industry for 27 years. Playing years ago, I was very, very fortunate to be taken under the wing of Santos Sambajon, who was number 4 in the country, in the world when he came to the U.S. from the Philippines, and no one knew him. We used to go around hustling and gambling and going to Allen Hopkins tournaments in Atlantic City. So I've seen the industry from the start at a high level, and I've seen it go nowhere in 27 years. Sandcastle Billiards fell into my lap as a side project when I was working full-time at the Board of Education doing IT work, and I didn't want my local pool room to close because it was one of the few player rooms in New Jersey left. And if they close, now I'd have to travel 40 minutes to a player's room, and I'm not playing in one of these kiddie clubs, I want proper conditions, proper lighting, real players. We share stories. We dig on each other. It's family, So I didn't want to see it close down. I got involved. Next month will be 13 years at Sandcastle. Still nothing has changed. So 27 years, nothing has changed. In the local pool rooms for 13 years, nothing has changed. I have a 19-year-old son that broke and ran a rack on me when he was 8 years old on a tight box table, 4 1/4 inches, straight cut like a diamond. And I had to tell him, good job, honey, you win. Let's go play some video games now. Because I did not want him pursuing a career in pool. It hurt me. I love pool, but I love my child more. And I told him to go play video games. He still plays video games all the time, and he can win a $50,000 first place prize playing Call of Duty. But he still cannot win a $50,000 first place prize in pool. Not easily. There's only a couple of them, So it's not feasible. I want to change that. I want amateurs and professionals to be able to make a feasible income, part-time or full-time, depending on how much time you put into the game, your own game, and make it available to everyone by only having to drive a couple hours away to one of the 32 locations. And I'll take care of the rest. Show up with $150, play well, win. We all take care of the rest. I can't say I have a team of people helping me, behind me. I want to make sure I give them credit as well, but, I don't want to take all the credit. So how long did it take me to actually put it together? I've been thinking about it for about 10 years and grabbing things here and there, watching closely, studying other things. I was involved in the ICEA, International Chinese 8-Ball Association. I sat on the board of directors of that organization, went to China, watched the Joy events on Chinese 8-Ball table, brought it over here to the U.S. U.S. players weren't ready for it. They're not ready for that high-level competition or that high difficulty level. Plus, we don't have that much exposure to a snooker background. Only a few players here in the U.S. have a snooker background, and it still looks too much like snooker for Chinese 8-ball. So they're not ready to make that transition. I want to get us to that level where we're on the same playing field as the Asians playing Chinese 8-ball, or let's just say 8-ball on a 9-foot snooker table if you don't want to hear China right now. We have some people that are stubborn listening to it, but American pool is not what it used to be. We used to be the kings of pool in the 70s and even into the early 90s, and we've fallen off. We've gone backwards. Why? I could talk about bar tables. I could talk about handicaps. I could talk about bar leagues and teaching the wrong rules or the wrong formats. I welcome them all to get involved in the NBL. Whether you like the format or not, whether you like the organization or not, I welcome them all, and I call them all out to promote their players and give back to their players as they should have been after taking their money in leagues, in bars, in tours, in pool rooms, and everyone, all across the board. Sponsor your players for a mere $150 for an amateur, or if you want to sponsor a professional, let's set the bar and give the professionals what they're worth. They're worth at least $2,000. So sponsor their flight, sponsor their $1,000 entry fee, or sponsor their hotel room for the 3 or 4 days that they're going to be playing in the event, and then you can put their patch on their chest on the NBL uniform. Sponsorship patches will not be allowed unless they go that route. So now I'm calling out all organizations to promote and sponsor your players. Truly sponsor your players. Don't give them a piece of chalk or a glove or even a cue stick, which is a nice item, but it doesn't pay for flights, hotels, or entry fees.
Right.
Be a sponsor. Support the players. And in turn, the players must act appropriately, be involved, promote themselves, promote the industry, and promote these events. We all have to do our part. I can't do this alone. I have a team of people on my executive board that are in the video industry, that are, I actually have a guy that was involved in the World Series of Poker as far as promoting the players and being a player rep, getting them sponsorship. He even got one poker player a $500,000 a year contract for one player. I want that same thing to happen for all these players because we both love pool. He loves poker and he loves pool. So he's on my executive board and he'll be representing people. I have other people in the industry that don't want to be announced yet. We won't want to announce everyone who's who yet. In the future, will be announced. Whether you're a fan of them or not, doesn't matter. We're working together to get this done. There are streamers that don't get along that are all going to be streaming these events from all across the country. They're going to be making their money off their local sponsors and sending the signal to the NBL USA server. 32 locations all broadcasting one event across the nation, gathering each an individual following of 500, 3,000, 5,000 fans. Together, combined, going through one server allows me to present the analytics and metadata from all these streams to ESPN, to Fox Sports Network, to mainstream sports networks, so that way we can finally be on TV once again, organized, unified, and professionally presented. So that'll all come into production. There's a lot involved, a lot of working parts.
And I don't think it's unfair at all for us to think that our sport is just as important as all the other sports that we put that kind of focus on. I don't think it's too big of an expectation for us to have those kind of goals, and I applaud you, and I hope that I truly hope this works out. I'm hoping that we can do something to be a part of it. I'm really liking this idea. I think I'm hoping people see that the absolute possibilities in this, because it's
for $150.
For $150.
That's it. $150.
It's not that much, and just aiming for $150. You think about all, like I said, like you think about all the things you got, the chances at the money. I mean, and like you said, just the $150 with the chance to, even the chance to
big stage.
To hit the big stage, play against, maybe play against somebody you've always wanted to play, and maybe your dream in the sport is just to go and play and end up drawing Shane or Corey or somebody like that, and okay, so I'm going to get beat, but you know what? I have a chance. I still
get beat.
I might get beat.
Let me say something real quick. If you think you're going to lose, you're right.
Oh,
that's the wrong mindset. As soon as you say I can't win, you're right.
Yep.
You can't.
Exactly.
Your mental game's not there. Your physical game won't be. One thing I forgot to mention. I'm sorry to cut you off. Pros were deterred from the game, we mentioned earlier, for multiple reasons. International players coming and robbing this. This is American players only. American residents only. So you're only going to have a couple foreign or international players, like Mika Immonen resides in New York, Jason Shaw resides in Connecticut, Ralph Souquet has a condo in Florida, I think Thorsten Hovman still has a place in Florida. So proof of residency may be required, but by international players, and I know that we have a place in Oregon that is involved, but they have a lot of Canadians that want to play. I'm sorry, this is for us first, U.S. Hey.
I don't. That's acceptable. I mean,
for now. And then we might expand. We might expand later.
You have to start
we have
somewhere.
To take care of ourselves. We have to start here.
So you mentioned the opportunities for the juniors now, and
right.
you know there's a lot of things coming down the road. So when you mention that, is there right now in this phase of things, is there an age limit for those amateur qualifiers?
They can be 5 years old.
As long as they can
as
long as they can hold themselves at the tables and do what they have to do.
Exactly. That's at any age. So logistically or realistically, we might have a 15-year-old player winning a qualifier. We have a local player, Ivo Lincoln, around this area. He's a good player. He's won a lot of local events, a lot of open events. Came in top 3 or so. I don't think he's won at first place. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but I know he's coming in top 3 of playing pros. It's in a mixed event. Frankie Hernandez is in the event. Matt Croft, Sean Wilkie, the Mez Pro-Am Tour is hosted here at Sandcastle. Excuse me. And he's placed in those. So he may win an NBL qualifier and be on the stage. He's 16 years old. Why shouldn't he be allowed to play? LeBron James went from high school to the NBA. We encourage other players in the NBA as well. Yao Ming to come from Asia to the U.S. to reside in the U.S. and play. So if players want to play in the NBL, they must reside in the U.S. Any age, any gender, whatever.
Wow.
Reside here, get involved. And you asked me, how long have I been thinking, or actually putting the plan together? Thinking about it for 10 years, devising it for about 2 years straight. Crunching the numbers, 2 to 3 years, crunching the numbers, seeing what would work. What's the cheapest I can make the qualifiers? What are the expenses of the flights from anywhere in the U.S.? Because we also have Hawaii and Alaska involved as well. We have a location in Anchorage, Alaska. We have a place in Honolulu, Hawaii. Our qualifiers are at these 32 locations, and our 4 main events will also be at one of these 32 locations. Why? Not only have we had crooked promoters, crooked players, we've also had very hungry venues. And casinos love pool players because they'll win $20,000 as a first place prize and spend $40,000 on a craps table. What did they really put into pool? Nothing. Plus, even if they're not a casino, but the venue is a hotel, I hope you can hear me okay. I got a lot of background noise. Players are coming into the pool room now. But we also have a lot of greedy venues with the hotels where they require us to fill up so many rooms for so many nights. And if we don't fill up those rooms, we must guarantee a couple $100,000 for the rooms. We must guarantee a couple $100,000 at their concession stands, at their bars, at their restaurants. If we don't fulfill their dollar requirements, we pay. So a lot of players, a lot of people, enthusiasts don't know the costs involved. There's a lot of great promoters out there that would love to give a lot more money to prize pool, but it's sucked up by these venues. So I want to return pool where it belongs, in the pool rooms, not in the bars, not in the casinos, not in the hotel ballrooms. Pool belongs in a pool room, billiard parlor, whatever you want to call it. Bring it back home where it belongs. Our costs are already covered, and we need to give back to the pool rooms that are providing the location. I'm not speaking as a pool room owner, but as a player. As a man who loves the industry, who loves the game. Where are you going to practice other than where you're going to compete? Wouldn't it behoove you to practice in a location on the same exact equipment that you're going to compete on to make the big stage?
Yeah.
You know, so we want to stimulate pool room activity in the process. I want to stimulate activity in the leagues to promote their players and sponsor their players. So
not to mention,
I'll advertise for them, but they have to sponsor the players.
Yeah, not to mention that if this was to take off, and I apologize about my absence, I had to take care of some personal stuff there. But not to mention, if this really takes off, which I really like the idea of it, and I don't see any reason why it wouldn't work. But I think it would encourage. I think it would encourage people to take a look at this and say, you know what, it'd probably be a smart idea to invest into a pool hall, get a room started, and we could join in on this.
Right. Absolutely. Well, let me touch on something else. I did mention earlier that players are going to have the opportunity to make money, win or lose, even at the local levels. If they're on the featured table, they can enter a program, and there's a lot of things involved in the program. There will be a monthly fee to get involved, but for $9.99, you can be in the base level. You will get residual income from your performance every time someone clicks on your match, because it's going to be live and free upon that day, so we can get the numbers up to present to ESPN and Fox Sports Network and all the major networks, Netflix, HBO. I'm in talks with all these organizations already. That may not come to fruition for 2 to 5 years, but we'll see what happens in the meantime. We're gathering footage. But you will be on camera, and you can pay $10 a month to cover the overhead of server space and storage space in the cloud, so forth and so forth, operational costs. But every time someone clicks on your pay-per-view event or your match, it's like a $5 pay-per-view for the certain level, $10 pay-per-view for higher levels, you're going to get 20% of everything. So you as a player two players will each get 20% of every match they play in anytime. Let's say you two play a match and it goes hill. It's an incredible match. People are talking about it. They didn't see it live, but they want to watch it the next day or after that. They're going to pay $5 or $10 to watch it, and you're going to get 20% of that for life. For life. So that's residual income right there. Another part of the package at a higher level, which I still have to crunch the numbers on once we get the numbers together, is life. Pool players need their lives set up. We have a lot of players that are retired, moved on, that don't have anything. They don't have their life set up. They don't have a home. They don't have insurance. So I'm working together with a few companies right now that are bidding on the package and trying to put packages together to offer health insurance, vision and dental. I'm getting tongue-tied here. Vision, dental. It touches my heartstrings here because there's a lot of players I know that don't have a pot to piss in. There's an old joke that we used to laugh about, which is really, really sad as I'm getting older and starting to reach those points in life. What do you call a pool player without a girlfriend? Homeless.
and
we laugh, but it's
true.
true.
But it's true.
It's sad.
It's
very sad.
Yeah.
So I'm putting together a plan and a program where they can get a 401k program put together for them, where a part of their winning goes into the 401k, and they can earn income on that as well, or put that into the money market. We're going to offer them vision, dental, and a health plan, so they can go to the doctor and get their health taken care of. That's all in the works, and that'll be available for a very, very, very small fee.
Yeah, and it is. It's a shame because the game of pool. I mean, except if you go back into the '90s when they had the women's professional league, a lot of those ladies were making some good money back then. And I don't know. I hope some of them saved it or whatever. But as far as it goes for, especially on the men's side or anything like that, I mean, there's just you have a pool career, and then when your pool career is over, if you didn't save any of that money you made gambling in the back room or the tournaments and stuff that you played in, you're broke. You're absolutely 100% broke.
Absolutely. And it's not easy to build that money up when you have to come in 5th place or better to make any kind of a profit on your endeavor.
Correct.
And
it doesn't work.
So you kind of mentioned this earlier about the equipment. I kind of want to go back to that. You were talking about So your plan is all your sanctioned venues. All obviously you mentioned 9-footers. So everything is played
regulation equipment.
Okay. Basketball
hoops fit 2 balls. The pitcher's mound is 90 feet from home plate. Every football field is 100 yards. We don't see 70-yard football fields, do we? We don't see 7-foot basketball hoops. We see 10-foot basketball hoops. There's a standard. We need to stay. We have a standard that we don't abide by. All other countries have abided by it. That's why they progress in pool. They have progressed in pool because they've kept those standards. We have to raise the bar, not play in one.
There you go. I can't disagree with that at all. And
not only playing one, still playing them. I don't want to discourage, but it's a fun night out. I don't want to knock anyone. I'm not trying to knock them out.
But
we have to keep our
uniform,
don't only play in the bar.
Right. We need that. The uniform play because that is when you talk to players. What's one of the biggest problems with the sport is. Well, I went from this league to this league, and this rule is here, and I played on this table here, and it's like and like you said, I don't go from a 100-yard football field to a 70-yard football field, or because that would be
it's funny, right?
It
just sounds funny.
It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. I agree. Well, it doesn't make common sense for sure.
Right.
If you want pool to grow. You have to have everybody should be playing, especially on like a pro tour event. Everybody should be playing on the same equipment, same balls, the same felt, the same this, that, whatever, because you go from one, and the rules is what really drives me crazy. And I was listening when I was in the house about breaking from the spot. I think it's a wonderful idea. I mean, that is just, to me,
it's not easy.
No, it's not. I've tried
not easy at all. You try it out.
When we get done with the show,
try it.
Before I leave tonight, after the show, I'm going over there, and I'm going to try it a few times and see what happens.
Now, I pointed to the logo behind me. That's the Billiard Congress of America, the only official governing body of pool in America, which is a subsidiary of the WPA. So WPA governs the world. The rule books, the rules for the WPA were copied and pasted from the BCA originally, and then they made their adaptations or changes along the years, and they keep them updated. So that is the official rules. If you have any questions about anything for the NBL or the way you should be playing, visit bca-pool.com. That's bca-pool.com or wpa-pool.com, and you'll find the rules are all the same there. The NBL will follow those rules no matter what they are. Whether I agree with them or not, those are the rules. We must play by them.
And that unfortunately that's what because the majority of leagues across the country, their rules are based off that with all kinds of different adaptations and well, we're going to do this for time, or we're going to do this.
And they're watered down for time purposes, or skill level factors,
right,
or to split up teams and make more money.
Right, exactly. So and
I
again,
speak the truth.
Well, and you do, and that's one of the things. Like that's and when you talk, like I said, if you talk to pool players, that's one of the biggest things that they talk about. They want consistency, and when they say they want consistency, it's the first thing they usually say is rules. I want to be able to go from one place to another and go, okay, hey, we're playing pool, all right, and not have to say, okay, so can I hit this ball, or can I do this, or can I? They just want to be able to go in and play, because you spent 20 minutes going over the rules with somebody going, oh, so we're not playing 8-ball, we're playing, that's a consistency the players are looking for. So you're right now, okay, so you, like I said, you're just getting things going. So now, right now, your first qualifiers are set for the beginning of January, the 9th and 10th, I believe?
Right. If it's a one-day qualifier, it'll be the 10th. If they're holding a two-day qualifier, it'll be the 9th and 10th. And everything concludes on the 10th, where we'll announce all the winners online, streamed and everything. And on the website, they'll be listed as well. Then in February, on the 21st, so the 20th and 21st in February, will be the other qualifier for the March main event. I have not determined a date for March yet, because we're going to see what's going on with COVID and everything else with the pandemic. It will be on the West Coast, either in Las Vegas or Arizona at Freezer's Ice House. Most likely Arizona, because Freezer's Ice House has a lot more space and flexibility with the stands, and they can house 128 players and maybe a couple hundred spectators. So I'm looking at that as the most likely location. Otherwise, it may be a Griff's if you can facilitate 128 players in 3 days.
Yeah, that was my next question. Did you have a formula for picking the venue for the main events, or?
Right, it's all about feasibility.
Right.
I want pro players, because in March we have the BCA Expo, we have the CSI events going on in Vegas, we have a lot of things going in Las Vegas, and Freezer's Ice House is only 3 hours away. So professional players that are playing in those events don't have to get a flight to go to their next event. They can rent a car, drive 3 hours, carpool, rent a bus, whatever you want to do, drive 3 hours and get to the NBL event. So it's always going to be scheduled next to another major event, piggybacking or preceding it. So that way it makes it cheaper and easier, more accessible for professionals to get involved, because they're paying their money or getting sponsored.
Right.
If they can find sponsors to cover their event, it's great. But I want to make it as easy and cheap as possible to get involved, so there's no excuses.
So, you've obviously, and you said you have a pretty good sized team of people working with you, and you said there's some people that eventually down the road are going to get announced. Are there some people you can talk about now that have helped you out a great deal, that you just kind of?
Yeah, well, we've got one guy. One guy that doesn't want to be announced. He just wants to be NBL behind the scenes. I was going to announce him, but I don't think he wants to be announced. But he's done a lot of work. Our webmaster has done a lot of work. I just give him recognition anonymously. He's worked on the web. He's going to be working on the cameras that I'm adding to Sandcastle Billiards. Because at these events, at the Sandcastle qualifier, I'm going to have in January, I'm going to make it as an example of what the main events will look like. Sorry, it's hard for me to keep my thoughts as the crowd is building here at Sandcastle.
I can hear that.
Yeah, I know you hear a lot of background noise.
It's music to most people, so it's okay.
Yeah, I got the music low. It's just all talking.
Yeah,
so,
no, they our viewers like the pool balls. They're enjoying that noise.
I like the balls clicking around.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you're here having a good time. It's great.
Yeah.
But he's helping me set up 10 additional cameras, because all the tables at the main events will be accessible. All the tables will be accessible for you to choose from as a viewer. So you can click on whatever match you're going to watch. And I'm using that as a test platform as well. The NBL qualifiers and main event as a platform to test for the International Open. I'm the MC and tournament director over at the International Open with Pat Fleming down in Norfolk, Virginia. So I'm going to use that same format of presentation, working in conjunction with AccuSAS Video Productions to bring you pool like they have overseas in the Middle East, if you've ever seen Kazoom and the World World Championships. They have cameras on every table, and you can choose which table you want to watch. We're going to be able to provide the same thing in the NBL at the Sandcastle qualifier and the main events. And then what that translates into are more opportunities for more people to make residual income, win or lose. Because as long as you're on recording, you're going to get paid for your performance.
See, I like how much you are going out of your way to make it, beneficial for the players all around.
Right.
And I think that's going to be something that as more players start to learn about it, that's really going to draw them in. I'm really looking forward to January to come around to be able to watch some of the stuff and maybe hopefully be a part of it.
It's going to be exciting.
It is. It's going to be.
I have a lot of surprises that I'm not announcing, but it's going to be entertaining. Let's put it that way. It won't just be the silent, boring library pool. It's going to be more Moscone-like with music in the background. I have this I can announce. I have a few unsigned artists and an artist with their own label to have our own NBL album and soundtrack playing in the background so we don't get booted off of streams. We'll have the rights to that. I'll be featuring up-and-coming artists, and they'll also be listed on the website later on, not only on the NBL album, but their individual works. You can click on their links, and they'll be listed on the site to promote them as well. So music, smoke, lights, maybe a halftime show of sorts. Other types of entertainment will be there. And, of course, professional commentary, professional looks, all that will be in play as well. But we need to make it more fun to watch for the common viewer. And, again, the uniforms or the main events will be there for spectators to see their local guys representing the state on the main stage.
I think that's going to be a big draw. People, are really going to be. I think that's going to really excite people to be like, oh man, I played with him, or I know him, or like you said,
right.
That's where
I beat him before. I'm getting involved next time.
Oh, he's lucky I didn't play this year, and
right, exactly. So all these guys that are talking, it's time to show and prove now.
Well,
there's no more hiding.
I can tell you already that I know TNT's going to sponsor somebody. I got a kid in mind already that I'm sending in there because he's our little killer. He actually played in one. He played at a tournament, a juniors tournament out at Michaels is another one of your venues.
Okay, right.
He played out there just a month or so ago. They had that. They did that quad format for the juniors championship.
Yes.
And he played out there. He actually did pretty good. He finished. What did Sam finish? Third. He finished third out there. He's an up and coming McDermott player, and he's a great kid.
Okay.
And so
good.
What's
his last? Do you know his last name?
Sam Henderson.
Sam Henderson. Okay, I have to look out for him because being involved with BCA, we work with the juniors as well.
Yeah, definitely look him up. Look, Sam Rhino Henderson is on Facebook. He's a great up and coming player. He spent a lot of time during the quarantine playing a lot of isolation tournaments with Valerie on ESP for those Phantom tournaments and stuff like that. He's a good kid, good player, and he's a great representative of his sponsors and stuff. We love him to death. So
great. I can announce another person that's involved. You're looking for the guy that's going to be doing our uniforms is the CEO of Lights Out Billiards Apparel, Jake Lawson. We can give him a shout out.
There you go.
I have an attorney on the executive board, Jeremy Eisenstein. He works with the UBL, and he's going to be helping out with legal matters and things like that for the NBL as well. We also have the guy that was involved with the World Series of Poker, WSOP, and getting those contracts for those players. Per Hagen, you can look him up. He had a big interview on AZ Billiards, a cover story there as well, or a big spread story on AZ Billiards. You can look him up, Perhagen. He's in Norway, but he has a lot of connections in the U.S. and all around the world with people that want major corporations that want to sponsor sporting events. So we're looking to get sponsors down the road. Notice I didn't mention anything about sponsorship or added money or anything like that. This is all designed to be self-sufficient because once we prove that we are worthy and reliant upon ourselves to have our own $1 million league, then we set the price and we set the bar and the standard on sponsorships from organizations inside or outside. So these $25,000 contributions are good for an advertisement. But if they want to be a title sponsor for a main event, one of the 4 major events, it's going to have to be $500,000 or more. I've gotten a couple lowball offers from organizations in China and in the U.S. that I've rejected because they were just way too low. I told them they can be an advertiser, but they will not be a title sponsor unless it's $500K or more. How much does a Super Bowl cost to be a title sponsor for? How much does
I'm not
the
sure you can even
World
get a
Series?
ticket right now to the Super Bowl for $500,000.
Right? Exactly. So if all these other sports can do it, why can't we? We are the hardest. I know we're classified technically as a game, just like golf is, but they're recognized as a sport because they're organized and they have philanthropists putting money into it. That's what got them there, right? A lot of people look to sponsorship dollars as the answer. You could throw money at a problem, but it doesn't solve the problem.
No.
Money does not solve the problem alone. A return on the investment for these sponsors will solve the problem. But first, we have to create that product. We don't have a good enough product right now for television that's exciting to watch, that's organized, or has the outreach. We don't have the viewership. But if we have 32 streamers all across the U.S. streaming their constituency combined into one location to provide analytics for television networks to see that we will have more power than any one television network has as far as outreach goes, or any one radio station has, then we get the advertisers to get that return on their investment as we broadcast their brand and product across 32 locations every single week. We're going to have a qualifier every month, so we're going to be advertising at least once a week, twice a week, maybe 3 times a week leading up to each qualifier, or satellite events to build up qualifiers. So if you want to sponsor a player, let's say, that doesn't want to, and you don't want to spend $150, or a room wants to have satellite events to generate more traffic, have a satellite event for $50 a player, and then they can win that event and gather money to get involved in the qualifier for $150 as a second stage, and then they're in for the $50 rather than $150. Now you're getting more money for the pool room, more money for advertisers, so forth and so forth, and then we're going to be broadcasting these brands and promoting the sponsors down the road. So first, we have to create it ourselves, independently of.
And it offers, like you just said, it offers so many more opportunities to get even more people involved in growing the sport, and in the process growing the NBL, which
exactly
in the end works out for everybody. That's it.
It's about us, all of us.
It's about growing our sport and making our sport bring it to that level where we all believe that it should be. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing this play out. I definitely am looking forward to this.
I hope and pray everyone gets involved. That's all I can ask. Players locally have to get involved and fill a field of 32 players. We do it already individually. Now I'm bringing it all together across the country.
So, and you mentioned earlier, and we'll mention this again. You are still looking to fill a couple spots that are questionable, and
they're questionable right now, and I'll be advertising that if they open up.
Right. So, but it wouldn't hurt if you have a room and you're interested. Contact Ed. Go to nblusa.com, and
Correct.
You can contact Ed to find out more information how you can put yourself in a position to fill a spot if it needs be, and get your foot in the door down the road to help get this thing going and help put our sport where it needs to be. It sounds like you're doing everything. You're attacking all the avenues that people have been asking for in the sport to get us to where they want to be. So
this is not about me. I work from the heart, not the wallet. So I might wind up making $1,200 out of all this each month. Not each month, every 4 months, just in case anybody's curious, because everyone wants to know what everyone else is making. I'm making nothing. That $1,200 is going to go in advertising. Okay. It's going to go back into the business. So it's about you,
right? Our viewers know how much us tournament directors and operators, how much we roll in all that money. So much that
so much
that we do
you
these
see
awesome
my advanced microphone here and equipment I'm using.
We do these awesome free shows on Facebook because we're rolling in that money. But
exactly, you got to fake it before you make it.
That's exactly, and you do it. Right? You do it real good. Now, Ed, I'm loving this. I really am. I'm gonna spend a lot more time looking at this, and hopefully maybe see if we can get. Like I said, I know in our area we're in the Illinois, Iowa area. I don't think you have anything in Illinois right now, but I know you have the big dogs in Iowa. So we are definitely going to be pushing some people to get there because.
Actually, I'm sorry. There is a place that's going to be announced in Chicago, the Chicago area.
I saw the tab on the website, but I kept clicking on it.
COVID is preventing a definite answer from 2 locations that we're talking with.
Well, that'd be awesome because there are a couple nice rooms over in that area. I know that for sure. So, well, it sounds like you're getting to have some fun, and you kind of look like you want to go shoot some pool.
I haven't hit a ball in 3 years. Well, no, I hit a ball in a few months, but I haven't really played in years. So I've been too busy. I'd rather see the game progress. My game is too late. I'd rather see the next generation have something to look forward
That's
to.
where I'm at. I have really nice cues, and I pretend like I shoot once in a while. But I spend more time doing this kind of stuff, and like this is something I always tell people is we're too many operators, directors they see that all this is such a competition, and it's
Right.
not. We're
It's
in this
not.
together. We're all trying to do the same thing. We're all trying to
There's
get people
not
to
a big
play.
enough pie for everyone to have a
Right.
slice.
And
Yeah, we
we're
have
all
to work
trying to get
together
people to
to
play
make it.
and play the same sport. So we might as well work together and do things like what you're trying to do here. There's no
Exactly.
reason in us butting heads, and because all we're doing is putting ourselves, we're taking 2 steps back every time we do that. So I think I'm hoping more tournament directors see this and try to get involved so that you can go to that next step, go beyond the 32.
Even if you already have a local tour, if you're running a tour and you're a tournament director, get advertisement for your tour. Whatever. Let's say your player coming out of the ABC tour is now representing the ABC organization, league, whatever it is, or Qs, and put a patch on them in a local event for
Right.
$150.
There you
That's
go.
it.
Yeah, there's
know?
the opportunities are endless. Absolutely endless. That's NBLUSA.com. You can find them on Facebook as well by searching National Billiards League. We've been talking with Ed Liddawi, Sandcastle Billiards in New Jersey. I thought I had another question or two. We talked about the equipment, playing on 9-foot tables, solid rules all the way across the board.
Yes.
Everything, all the
A
events.
set pattern.
Yep.
One set pattern's on the website. You can find that on the website as well.
Okay.
Breaking from the spot will be for 10 ball and 8 ball both. So you're going to have to practice breaking from the spot on both of those.
Now that's
the 10
really
ball
interesting.
rack is designed where it's a simple pattern. At first I laughed at the idea when it came to mind, but then I found out that it's not so bad. They're going to be racked in order. It's a rotational game, and they're going to be racked in order as the camera sees it for the viewer at home. So if I watched bowling and I told you that I had a 7-10 split, you don't necessarily have to be an avid bowler to know what a 7-10 split looks like because they have designated locations, so you know what it looks like. I want everyone to learn along the way. Viewers, players, up-and-coming players, everyone will learn and watch the break. They're going to be racked in order. As you're racking the balls, the 1 at the head spot, 2, 3, 4, 10, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in the back. So it's going to be racked in numerical order with a 10 in the middle interrupting that order, but it's going to be the same exact way. And it's not easy to set those balls up on the break when you're breaking from the spot. It's very hard to control where those balls wind up. So it's not that easy.
I mean, like I said, as soon as I finish this show, I'm going over there.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to try. And the 8-ball one, I didn't even think about that. I remember you told us that it was going to be 10 ball and 8 ball, and I didn't even think about the break on the 8 ball. And then until you mentioned that just now, so that's going to be interesting. Well, I appreciate you hanging out with us. I'm hoping as things get going, we get a little closer to January, maybe we can have you come back on and talk about how things have progressed and definitely keep up with this. Once again, Ed Liddawi, National Billiard League, NBLUSA.com, and you can find him on Facebook as well. If you have any questions and want to find out how you can get involved or what kind of things you can help, check him out there on Facebook and on the website. Ed, it's been great talking to you.
Thank you very much for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
And feel free to send us anything down the road and anything we can do to help out. We're more than happy to. So we appreciate taking the time. You have a great night, and we look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you very much, guys.
Yep. Have a great night.
Have a good one.
Oh, there we go. So that was Ed Liddawi. Thanks, Ed. All right. That was Ed Liddawi from the National Billiard League. Very informative. I like the idea of what he's got going on there. Hollywood stepped out there. He's been having a rough week. He put himself out. He went out to Roy's tournament out there, Twisted Rose. So he's kind of worked himself a little more than he probably should have. So he's taking a little break. Excuse me, getting a little dry. I forgot my water. I'm going to take a second real quick to regather myself. We're going to check out our sponsors one more time, and then I will be back, and we will talk about some upcoming tournaments, and we will go over some league information that I have for you. So check out the sponsor stuff, and I will be back in just a minute, and we will talk all about upcoming tournaments and some league information.
CBM Construction offers all your construction needs. New builds, remodeling, heating and cooling services, and installation. Give them a call today, 815-716-6727. CBM is licensed, bonded, and insured to provide the ease of mind you're looking for. From start to finish, CBM is professional and friendly as they bring your dreams to life. Bill builds it best. Check them out on Facebook for more pictures of their amazing work. Looking for a getaway retreat? Wanting to live off the grid? We can help you with any of your wants and needs. Custom built tiny homes for you. Taking orders now. Give us a call and we'd be happy to help you out. 815-716-6727. CBM Construction. 815-716-6727.
The Boulevard Pub and Grill, 2501 Avenue East, Sterling, Illinois, 815-901-2583, offering free delivery to local businesses Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Give them a call, check out their menu, check out the Big Al, and all the great live entertainment they've got coming up. I believe it's this weekend, the 29th. Brushville will be hanging out at the Boulevard. Go check them out, 2501 Avenue East, Sterling, Illinois. A&A Flooring, Sterling, Illinois, 815-632-0675. Give Al a call for all your flooring needs, hardwood and carpet services. You can check out aafloors.biz and use their on-site tool to check out all your flooring options right from the comfort of your home without even getting dressed or getting off the couch. Don't have to move anything. It's awesome. Check it out. Look at all your different flooring options. 815-632-0675, aafloors.biz, A&A Flooring. And West End Sounds DJ Service, DJ Mark, for all your DJ and karaoke needs, weddings, birthday parties, and much more. Competitive pricing. Call Mark today, 630-364-8454, offering LED lighting and uplighting options for your event. And Mr. Big John Bresley at Peel Motors, Princeton, Illinois, 815-875-4411. Stop in and see John for the car or truck you deserve. Great selection and experience right out in Princeton. For all your automotive needs, give John a call. So, we were talking about some upcoming tournaments. I want to show you guys some of the stuff you can do this weekend. There's quite a bit going on tomorrow. Quite a bit, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Let's see. Well, I guess we're going to do this first. I had the other one loaded up. We're going to talk about our league standings. And this is kind of hopefully to entice some of you guys, operators and directors. You can start sending your stats and standings and things like that, and we'll share them. This is the TNT Dixon Doubles 8-Ball League. You can see the standings there. We've got 8 teams playing in that. That's an in-house league. They played 3 weeks so far. They actually play, excuse me, they play 3-round matches each week, 12 games in a match. Each person plays 6 games. You can see the standings there as they line up, and there's our players and what they've been doing. And like I said, they play 3 weeks. Each player plays 6 games. We offer stats for our players as far as their averages, and we also give them their points allowed. So over their games, this is how many points that the players have allowed and the average per game of the points that they've allowed. And then both of our doubles leagues are competing to play in a City Cup showdown. We've talked about before an idea we got from Eric Noretto over at Jay's Garage. It's a Moscone Cup type tournament where we pit the top players from 2 different leagues against each other, and they acquire points by attendance, wins, and in this case, when they have a perfect match, they get an extra point. So, and then this is our Rockfall Sterling doubles division here. We've got 10 teams there. They're a couple weeks ahead of the Dixon division. Same format. They each play a match of 12 games. And then you see our list of our players there. A couple decent names you might recognize up at the top, playing some good pool there. I do not have their updated. Their updated City Cup points. There is a couple matches out in that one that are still being waiting to be played. So that's why you didn't see the extra stats for that other league as you did there. So let's see if I got everything in this one. This one, hopefully it's in the right order. So our upcoming tournaments, hopefully this doesn't jump on me. It's going to. We've got coming up in September, this is actually my last one, I think it was. Coming up in September, the second annual Jay Balfour Memorial Tournament is going to be played at Wise Guys on September 19th. It's going to start at noon. Sign up is going to start up at the venue at 11 o'clock. And of course, you can pre-register for that at budiswiser.net, or give us a call and we can get you set up for that. Just found this one out in, where is it? Lamont, Iowa at the Alibi. There's a women's singles tournament, and that is on the 12th of September. There's some information down there. You can get a hold of Jill, and her phone number's on there, or you can find her on Facebook, or you can call the Alibi at the number you see there for getting yourself signed up. That's a women's singles 8-ball. It's got some pretty cool options. It looks like it's going to be a ton of fun. So if you're in the area on the 12th, you can looking for something to do. Coming up tomorrow in Legends is the No Masters 8-ball championship. You can get a hold of Big E about that to find out if there's any room left. I can't remember. I know the list was getting pretty full. And that's at Legends tomorrow. Where is that start time? I can't see. Oh, it's too small. Where is that start time? There it is. Oh, doors open at 10. Then it looks like the auction starts at noon. The tournament will start sometime after that. It's at the Legends, the 8-ball, No Masters. Oh, this is next weekend. I got these ones mixed up. This is next weekend, actually. Scotch doubles over at the Twisted Rose. That one's going to be a ton of fun. Tomorrow here we go. I had them all out of order. Tomorrow at Twisted Rose, another ladies 8-ball tournament. That one starts at 1 o'clock. You can get a hold of Roy on Facebook or the Twisted Rose. Search either one, and he'll get you set up for that. And we will be in Lanark tomorrow at Dave's Place for our 8-ball tournament. That's going to be a ton of fun. Come out and have one of those amazing bigger-in-your-head meatball sandwiches that Hollywood's always talking about. So there's still a couple spots left for that, and we're going to break at noon there, so you need to be there by 11:45. And those were your upcoming tournaments for this weekend and just slightly beyond. Don't forget, if you want to get your stuff put on there, contact TNT, and we will tell everybody all about you. I don't have much more, and Hollywood's needing a longer nap outside of here, so we're going to get out of here for now. We were going to talk some more about next week. We're going to, I'm working on someone. I don't want to say yet, but I'm working on an interview for next week. Don't forget, we're still looking for off-the-rail reporters. Go out and shoot some video or pictures of your local scene and get a hold of me about how we can get that on the air and show people what's going on in your area. Make sure you're supporting your local halls, your local rooms, wherever it is you're playing pool. Don't forget, if you're looking to get your business name out there, you can also get a hold of us, 833-TNT-POOL, 833-868-7665. I'm processing all that information from Ed. Don't forget, you can go check out more stuff about the NBL at NBLUSA.com and search the National Billiards League on Facebook and check that out. It sounds like it could be a really good opportunity for people, so it's definitely worth taking a look at and checking out. A lot of good possibilities. Obviously going to take a lot of involvement. So, if that's something you're interested in, make sure you definitely check out the different places. I know in our area here, Iowa, Big Dog Billiards, Michael's Billiards, we've talked about them before in Ohio. He did mention a couple places in here in Illinois that he's working on. And then if you go to that NBLUSA.com, you can check out the map of different locations to see if there's one close to you to get in one of your regional qualifiers. So it sounds like a great time. Definitely check it out. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go try that breaking from the spot thing and see what it's all about. I want to see. I'm gonna see how hard it really is. Have a great night. Don't forget, you can hit us up, get your fight night set up. We're going to be at Dave's tomorrow. What else am I forgetting? I know I'm forgetting something. As soon as I get off of the show, I'm going to remember all the stuff I was going to tell you guys about, but I can't remember. Don't forget to check out the sponsors and tell them TNT sent you. And if you haven't yet, hit like and follow on the TNT Facebook page, like and subscribe on the YouTube page, and check out all of our other social media to keep up with everything we got going on. Thanks again for hanging out with us. This has been TNT Off the Rail, and we will see you guys next week. Have a great weekend.